These two gaming PCs just came to the shop for some repairs and upgrades, so let's get them taken care of. So working in the computer repair shop is all about timing and scheduling your time accordingly to all the systems that you have to get on your bench. Well, because of that, we actually want to start with the system that's probably going to have the longest amount of time that it's going to take, just because there's a lot of waiting that's going to be required for this upgrade. See, what's going on with this Alienware Area 51 system, despite it being absolutely massive, this thing is like well over 50 pounds, this system is actually out of space on the C drive. And if we actually look, we can see that under this PC, the C drive only has 1.8 gigabytes free because it's only like 120 gigabytes in size. And although there is a 6 terabyte drive installed in the system as well, that's a slow mechanical hard drive that we don't really want to use. We need some faster space for some of those newer games, just to make things load a lot quicker. So we just walk over to our inventory. We can pick up this 1 terabyte MX500 drive from Crucial, which will be solid. So now to get the old drive out and swap the new one in, what we need to actually do is come up to the top here, and you see this little release mechanism? If we just pull this up, that actually pops off the side panel, which we can pull out of the way, revealing the back of the case, where we can see our 6 terabyte drive, which is what our customer installed a couple years back, probably the original mechanical drive, and then that factory 120 gigabyte SSD that we're gonna swap out. Now if we just go ahead and unscrew and unplug, we can slide this drive caddy right off, revealing our 128 gigabyte SSD that we're gonna swap out. We can now go ahead and unscrew the drive from its cage, completely freeing the drive itself. And because our customer doesn't want to lose any of their information from their old C drive and they want to make their new drive look exactly the same, we're actually going to create a clone using one of my favorite tools, my StarTech Drive Dock, which allows us to take our old drive, slot it into our source slot, and take our brand new drive, slot that in our destination slot. And after pressing PC copy and start, that'll go ahead and start the automated process to clone all the information over from the old drive over to the brand new one. So this will actually be a one-to-one copy, so our customer doesn't lose any of their apps or any kind of information that was on the old C drive, and the new one will behave the exact same way, just with a lot more space. Because the cloning process for this drive is probably going to take about 30 minutes to an hour or so, let's go ahead and move on to the next repair, which is this gaming PC here, which came in a while back because of a faulty GPU. We actually had a bad 7800X, that's why we just got a brand new one, and our customer never installed their bottom fan, so we're going to go ahead and install that for them as well, and get everything taken care of with the driver. So the extra fan here is actually a reverse fan blade, so this is actually supposed to go right down here on the bottom cover. This way it'll actually draw fresh air in from the ventilation down below, push that directly into the GPU to keep things nice and cool. So they actually mount this, they actually use a different type of screw than you typically would see for most fan mounts. It actually goes through the fan itself, down into the basement and screws in right here. So what we first want to do is actually push the fan cables out the back. Then we can actually take the fan, get that into place, and screw it down. Now if we just run the cables up the back channel, we can actually plug it into this rear RGB fan controller. One for the actual 4-pin fan connector, and the other for the 3-pin RGB header. Now to make way for our GPU, we need to first undo these 2 screws, which allows us to take our brand new GPU, which we first need to go ahead and get all this plastic off of. Never leave this stuff on the GPU, that's just gonna cause a whole bunch of problems. Especially on the back plate of your GPU, because that will act like an insulator. And slot our GPU right into place. Screw that down, and plug in our 2 8-pin power connectors into the GPU, which should now allow us to go ahead and turn the PC on, see that our bottom fan is working, and let the system fire up. Compared to the previous GPU where the 7800 XT would never get recognized in Device Manager properly, or if it did, it was just temporary, this one automatically recognized everything properly this time, and it's not using the Windows Basic Display Adapter. Instead, it's using the automatic driver for the 7800 XT. But let's go ahead and download the latest version by going to the AMD website, downloading the latest driver package, and running it, which is designed to find the latest driver updates for our GPU. And with the smooth installed drivers, which we really couldn't do with the previous card, this system is now good to go. So let's get back to the Alienware. And after just waiting a little bit, the drive is now fully cloned over and we can pull it out of our drive toaster. Now we can go ahead and remount the drive to its cage and slide that right into place, screw it down, and plug in both SATA data and SATA power into the drive. Now if we just go ahead and close up the spaceship, we should be able to go ahead and turn this PC on, which loads up the PC just like it was before with all of the exact same maps and desktop items because we have that one-to-one match. But this time if we check File Explorer, we can see that our C drive now has 929 gigabytes of total space compared to about 109 with the old drive. which compared to the old drive should give them plenty of space to install whatever apps and games directly to their C drive to give them some fast storage rather than using that slow mechanical hard drive. So now that we got both these systems upgraded and repaired, let's go ahead and get them both back over to our customer.